Hi everyone, this is Serena from Sun Moon Tarot 222, and I'm coming on today to do a Divine Masculine reading. So if you are curious about where the Divine Masculine is at in their thoughts about the connection, in their heart space, how they feel about you, currently what challenges they may be facing when it comes to the connection, and some messages from them to you regarding anything that they would say to you, what they want you to know about their situation. So if they could say anything to you and express anything to you at this time, what would that be? What action they may take this week? And then ending with advice from Spirit. And I think that is extremely important when we watch these videos, is to really listen to, well, first get a good sense of the Divine Masculine's energy, and then if the cards resonate with your situation, my messages, the messages that I'm channeling resonate with your situation, then you can feel confident in that. You can feel like you came here and got some answers regarding just where they're at, and then what do you do with that really at this point? Because I don't really believe that anybody should ever be in a waiting energy when it comes to any partner or any of the relationships that we desire to be in. So I'm going to jump right in. I am first going to pull a couple cards for your shared energy. So what are you both experiencing? What is the energy that connects you to? What energy do you two have in common at this time? I just painted my nails, and I'm wondering if I'm starting too early, but I think hopefully they're dry. If not, that's okay. I'm going to shuffle anyway. I just saw the love card peek out in the Universal Love Oracle deck. Oh, beautiful. We have inner child. This makes a lot of sense since we just had the Libra full moon yesterday, and still very much in that energy, of releasing. All full moons they're intended to release, and then new moons are intended to manifest. And so what we see here with inner child is a sense that what people are releasing at this time is perhaps some inner child wounding, or rather they're healing inner child, they're letting go or releasing inner child issues. I know that excuse me, the energies for myself and my counterpart over the last week or so have been extremely intense, and I can just sense this, and I also can really kind of sense this in the collective as well, that this is just a time where people are really setting their sights on creating and manifesting a new reality for themselves. And what they might find is that they're blocked because of these inner child wounds that need to be healed still, because they can hold us back, and they can get in the way of what we're trying to accomplish in our lives right now. If we're trying to move forward and you still have these things that are weighing you down, that really come from your childhood, that it's definitely time to release. So I'm going to pull one more card for the shared energy for the between you and your counterpart. Wisdom of the Oracle. The Tribe. I'm getting that both you and your counterpart are, whether you're a masculine or you're a feminine, you both are, since you're doing this deep inner work, since you're looking at perhaps all of the obstacles that you faced as a child in your past, looking at what was out of alignment and what remains to be out of alignment in your current life, you may be thinking that the people around you in your current existence and your counterpart as well, perhaps these people are not the people that you find yourself really connecting with on the level that you would like to connect with others. So it's like we hear, during the full moon especially, like, get rid of what isn't serving you. And so this could really be in terms of people as well. So like, if you have, and this is just coming to me, so this is a message. If you are still friends with friends that you've been friends with for years, maybe old high school friends, or people that you've just known since you were younger, and you are doing this inner child work, and you're on this journey, and you're growing in a certain way, however, and they are not necessarily, or you can perceive them as kind of being stuck, not in a judgmental way, but just in a growth and development way. Maybe they're choosing to stay, choosing to partake in like the same like habits, like, staying out too late and drinking, and kind of not choosing to really really find new and interesting ways to kind of like push themselves and grow themselves, then you could really be looking around and seeing that as you change and others aren't changing, that maybe perhaps they're not your tribe. They're not the people that you perhaps need to be surrounding yourself with and who you want to surround yourself with. So that's really beautiful. I'm going to pull one card from the Romance Angels. Shared energy. Free yourself. Yeah, so I'm seeing with both the inner child card and even the tribe and free yourself, it's time to take back control of your life, that you're really coming into your own. You're really doing the work. You're doing the work. You're releasing, you're healing old wounds, you're breaking karmic cycles, you're moving on, you're leveling up basically. And in this process, you're actually freeing yourself and taking control of your life and really moving in an extremely positive direction. And like these are all really beautiful and making a lot of sense together so far. So this is your shared energy. So that's really beautiful. People are really obviously focused on themselves right now. And you work as mirrors. You work in, you're more aligned than you can ever really sense or imagine. So you both dealing with your own issues right now, then it just improves the chance of happiness that you'll experience much later on. It's just like you're investing in doing the work right now, which is not like a super comfortable or fluffy process. Like, it can be kind of painful and it can bring up a lot of stuff, but I'm getting the sense that people are just being very brave. So sorry, let me just get some water real quick. Oh, knocking stuff over. Yeah, so So people are being very brave and just facing their fears, facing the things that they need to face and need to deal with. So I want to pull some cards for how do they feel about you? So currently what's in their heart space towards you? Tons of cards just flew all over the place. Try that one more time. Maybe they feel a lot of things towards you. Possibly the entire deck. Earth connection. So when they think of you, I'm getting that you kind of bring them back down to earth a little bit. And that's kind of interesting. That's a little bit like of a paradox because this is such a spiritual connection. But you may make them feel grounded and connected in a way that gives them hope in their day-to-day existence. That's what I'm getting. That they might feel like when they think about you that they're not alone. And when you're connected to the earth and to nature, you feel that there is life that exists around you. When you are around other life, like the trees and plants and walking in the grass and running barefoot, through the grass, like through your backyard, and that you just feel connected, and this is the energy that I'm getting that your counterpart feels when they feel about you, is that they feel extremely connected to you in this sense that's very like rooting and really hopeful and really feeling like they're not alone. I'm also getting rejoice and celebration from the Psychic Tarot. I'm getting third-party situation because really, if you are watching this reading, most likely you're in separation or there's no communication. Anytime I see Three of Cups, I think of, or this is a third-party situation card for me, definitely. They could be really thinking about or remembering what it was like to enjoy life with you. Perhaps you would go out and have a good time. And honestly, it doesn't even really have to be. And it could be both. Perhaps this is a third-party situation. You perhaps were a third party and you got yourself out of that situation. And so now and it's not necessarily the Six of Cups, but whatever it is, they're thinking back to rejoicing with you and celebrating with you, just having a good time. And maybe you weren't even drinking. Maybe you're drinking coffee or tea. But it doesn't even matter. Like, they just remember what it was like to hang out with you, and they want to get back to that place. They really feel like that was, those were the good times, is what I'm getting. And I want to apologize for the noise coming from the stadium that I live by. The game must have just started, actually. I thought the music was going to end, but I don't think that that's going to happen. So how do they feel about the listener spirit? Okay, we have the King of Swords. So, in their heart space, they're feeling very I'm getting like very confident. I'm getting that they're in their heart, they know the truth now about this connection. Because we have this king of swords, and swords are for thoughts, but since it's in heart space, you could have like a very sure feeling in your heart space that is like, yep, I have, my heart knows. My heart is feeling like this is the person. This is that I'm sure that this person means something so significant to me. Let's clarify the King of Swords. What about this King of Swords? What they're sure about is, not only that, they feel extremely connected and that they just remember how good it was just being in your presence and the love that they felt in their heart. But they understand why the connection had to end, or the communication had to end, or why they were cut out and why they had to take a break. And my sense here is that reason is because they knew that it was imbalanced. They knew that you were probably giving more than you were getting back from them in the connection. And since it was a third party situation, if that resonates with you, then most likely if they're in another relationship, maybe they were with another karmic, or perhaps just with somebody else, that they weren't able to give you their attention. They weren't able to give you what you deserved, and it was imbalanced. And so in their heart, they really know what the problem was, and they're really aware that the problem was that this was not balanced. And maybe this is something that they've come into realizing with the Libra full moon, since Libra is for balance and it's the Justice card. They're really recognizing and seeing how the connection was imbalanced and how the energy was imbalanced. So how else do they feel? I'm going to pull some Mystic Moon Oracle cards. How do they feel in their heart space? To add to the story, Spirit. Healing. They're in a really positive place, it seems. They're really understanding. They're really holding you in a positive light. They don't seem to be angry. They're remembering the good times, and they're also really understanding what has happened here. And all of this is really helping them heal. I'm really hoping that they're, and we can look at this in the challenges, but hopefully they are also releasing something. And this fear card, this fear card just came out, and then the bottom of the deck was surrender. So I'm really sensing that I was meant to see those two cards, because exactly, so they could be really surrendering fear at this time, which is very, very beautiful. Like, they're definitely letting go and making space and realizing, what went wrong. And perhaps, I'm getting that maybe they were in like a little bit of a victim energy before. Maybe they didn't really get it. Maybe they weren't necessarily thinking about whoever I'm tapping into right now. They weren't really thinking about the good times necessarily before. Maybe they were just focused on themselves. And now they're seeing like your side of the story. It's very positive. So let's look at the current challenges that they could be facing right now. actually, we can do challenges. What are the challenges in their headspace? I said I was going to do headspace for you. So when they start thinking about the connection, what challenges do they have besides, knowing about this imbalance? So what about the challenges that come to mind, Spirit, for the masculine? Flexible. That's a number 19, reduced down to a 10, or added together is a 10. They want to be able to write and compose their own life. They want to be able to choose what they do in the day-to-day. I'm picking up that they're not flexible at this time. They have a limited amount of time. They are juggling a lot, and we kind of see like a circus-looking character here, right? And the challenge with, flexibility and kind of wanting this is like an idea of freedom, that they have gotten themselves in a situation, and this is not, a judgment, because, we, I think, all go through, or this is a common, challenge that a lot of people can go through, not just the masculine, but due to feeling like they have to uphold certain expectations that others put on them, they let other people fill up their calendar. They let, the kids' schedule, or, the family, or, what have you, or work. They don't really dictate their own lives right now. They are dictated almost, and this is really what they're challenged with at this time, that there's almost just not enough hours in the day. We have the Seven of Cups. So this card is about choices. It's about really being cornered, in a sense, and this is how I'm feeling about the flexibility card too, is that the masculine is cornered in the sense that they're really looking at all of the things that they that do take up their time, and looking at it in a way that it's like, are these things things that I've chosen? Are these the things that I really enjoy? Because this is also the Seven of Cups, right? Having options, and it's also the card of illusions, right? He could be living a life of illusions, where on the outside, perhaps it looks really, really good. I'm picking up on a masculine or on a group of masculines that from the outside look like they have everything. They have the home, they have the family, they have, the job. However, they're feeling like still backed up in a corner, because they're all the things that he has are not necessarily the things that he wants, and he's challenged right now, or not the things that he feels fulfilled by, emotionally, spiritually, and he really does want to, he's really thinking about how now it is his choice. Although flexibility is a challenge for him, he just doesn't have a lot of freedom. He's thinking about this, and thinking about, he's released, the victim mentality of like, I don't have a choice, I don't have flexibility, and now he's thinking like, well, actually maybe I do. I let all of these things come into my life, I let all of these things happen, and so I can make a choice, a different choice, if I if I really want to. And that's not saying like he's going to make the choice to drop everything. That's definitely not what I'm saying, or what I'm seeing. But what I am seeing is that the masculine, is coming to the realization that everything that he has in his life is not there by accident. And he made those choices, as even if he allowed those choices, and he can choose differently if he wants to, and if he chooses to, and he's really assessing that right now. So what else? What other challenges? The Ten of Cups peeked out at me. Exactly. So the challenge is still that if you have all of these expectations and you've lived these you've lived up to others' expectations for, I'm getting kind of a long time, then you could be challenged with this same Seven of Cups energy and combined with this Ace of Swords energy of like choosing to cut something out. What would you cut out? What could you cut out that will align with your truth? Because Ace of Swords are for truth, and communication, and cutting bullshit out. And the Seven of Cups here is a card of choices and options and illusions. So it makes sense that he realizes he doesn't have time. He's looking at the things that take up his time, and then now really contemplating what it is that he can cut out, that he wants to even try to do that if that were to happen in we can look at action, but then we have recognition. I think this is a beautiful card here. Whatever it is that he wants moving forward, he wants it to be based in love. He wants it to be meaningful, and real and equal, and really desires to be recognized and seen. I'm getting a little bit emotional because I think it's difficult to find yourself in this situation, you know. And I'm not, people, especially the masculine, want to please, and they want to provide, and they want to do right by their family, and they want to prove to their family and the people around them that they've succeeded. And success in many people's eyes is like achievement and achieving status through having these like more conventional things in life. But at what point in acquiring all those things do you lose like the love, and at what point do you just have when you have all these expectations being put on you, at what point do you lose the pure essence of, or like the why, like why don't you have any time? Why do you feel so, deprived? And, this is not just the divine masculine, this can be the divine feminine too, like maybe, overworking, overachieving. And that goes back to inner child work. Like what were you told as an inner child about yourself that made your worth, you feel so kind of left feeling without worth or value that you had to live up to others' expectations. I really feel like the masculine is really, with this recognition energy, like really trying to get back to the love and like get back to feeling like, why do I, again, we have inner child and we have ascending. So this inner child is theme here is huge right now. And I've seen other readers have this come out with this Libra full moon, and actually a ceremony that I did on my own with my own situation last night. Inner child came out. So this is really, really big right now. And it's really, it's like making me very emotional, and I'm really sensing that the more, feminines really do this, like you're pulling the masculine with you. And, even if you're not in communication, and they feel it, they know that, and it's not even a conscious feeling, it's just that they're feeling pulled up. and that's we have ascending. Wow. Okay, so like just going inside and releasing I'm getting a lot of messages right now, but the main thing is that this is like a time that of ascension, and this is a time of awakening for the masculine, and just everybody just keep going. If you're feminine watching, please just keep going. If you're masculine watching, keep going. It sucks right now, and you're not, in a situation that you want to be in, and whether or not you are going to end up with your twin, or whatever you call them, whatever it is, if you keep on doing this work and holding your twin in a positive light and in your heart, but let go still, everybody's going to rise, and whatever the outcome is going to be an outcome that you want. Whatever it is. And that's not really important for you or anybody to even know right now. It's really not important for you to know that right now. It's better than anything that you could even imagine. So, what do they want you to know? And I'm just going to pull some twin flame messages. Mystic Moon twin flame messages. I feel like there's at least 3 messages in here for the listener. What do they want you to know? If I knew then what I know now, I would have made different choices. That's the first one that flipped over. It's just easier to stay away right now. Yeah. So they're definitely realizing the truth. They're looking at, both of these make sense together. It's easier to just stay away right now because they're being faced with choices. And when you're being when all of these options and choices, when you unbind yourself, right? When you unstick yourself. Because when you're stuck, you're thinking, there's only one way. This is the only way. I don't have a choice. This is not about me, but my masculine has actually said to me, I don't have a choice. And I challenged him and I said, well, you actually do have a choice. But that, like, the first step is realizing, like, you have a choice. So that this is what he's looking at right now. Like, I would have done, like, now that I know I have a choice and that I'm not stuck in this situation for the rest of my life, just stuck unhappy, and not saying that their life is so terrible, but whatever it is, they don't feel recognition. They don't feel like a genuine connection. They're not feeling the love. But it's easier to stay away from you right now because they don't necessarily know what the next move is. Not that they don't love you. They just aren't sure what the next move is, and they're just starting to realize that they have choices. What else, Spirit? What's another message? A lot of things want to flip over, but okay, here we go. Is it possible to forgive and forget? So if they did something, if they ghosted you without explanation, if they said to you, like, I don't have a choice, I have to stay in this situation, and I have to, like, this is just what I have to do, it's not, and, you know, they didn't pick you. I think that they're wondering, like, my sense is that there were some, shitty actions that they did, or things that they said, that they feel like perhaps at this time, even if they would come back, like, come around, would you be, holding it over their head, or would you be holding a grudge? And my mind and heart always comes back to you. We see that there's options, right? We see that the masculine has options. And we'll get into advice, but, their heart and mind are always going to come back to you. And the label of twin flame is something that is becoming more and more uncomfortable to me because it's not a special club. It's not a special cult. I think it's a sort of like this journey is almost like a science and it's an art, because there's no one way to do this. But if you look up twin flame knowledge and information, there's recommended ways to go about doing this. One of the virtues is not ever doubting that your connection is this strong of a connection, if that's what in your heart and in your mind and in wherever you get that, resonance, wherever you get that intuition. Like, you have to always just believe that whatever is going to happen is going to happen for everyone's highest good. So what do they need from you right now at this time? And we kind of saw what they need. But perhaps, what do they need for you to do? In terms of how you see them and how you see the connection, and what perhaps you give off energetically and spiritually. Dreams. They really could, at this time, they really know that they're in a tough situation right now. And if they could have it their way, and this is a message for anybody watching right now, if there were no physical kind of material constraints or, emotional, mental constraints, shackles, chains, kind of whatever is holding them back. If none of that was, the case, if they didn't have that, they would come to you. They would choose you. So what I'm getting from this dreams card is one that you live somewhere very deep in their subconscious reality, in their unconscious reality, and things are just not as they seem in the material world because he still is in another situation, whatever that situation is. It doesn't have to be family, it doesn't have to be a third-party situation, it doesn't have to be kids, it could be work, it could be whatever other binds that he has. But you're very much in his subconscious and his unconscious. He feels you without even having to try. And he's becoming more aware of this, and my sense is that he's even kind of surprised by this. Surprised at how deeply he feels. And surprised that his mind and heart always comes back to you. That whatever he does, you're still there. You're in his dreams. And if you can do it, because he also really doesn't want you to inconvenience yourself. In fact, the opposite. He wants you to live your life, but perhaps if you can meet in the same way at the spiritual level, in the 5D, where your souls are free in the dream state, at the subconscious level, at the unconscious level, that's that recognition that he needs to keep going. And this is what this is about. Having a soul partner. It doesn't always mean that that's your partner in real life. We can have life partners, but a soul partner is a different agreement. It just is. And some soul partnerships, as we have seen, can break down all of those walls of, the third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension, all the other dimensions, and have this fluid existence. This is, you guys, a really special, this was just a really special message for I think everybody watching this right now, is that your connection is deep. And it's the more you cut out all of that other bullshit about, expecting things to happen. You can want things to happen, but expecting things to happen in the material world, I'm afraid, will only lead to disappointment. Hope and expectations are different. Hope and expectation is different. Okay? Holding your partner in your heart space is different than expecting them to choose you in the material world. Whew, okay. What do they need from the listener spirit? I'm just not feeling these cards. They came out together and they came out in a weird way, so cool. It was the Hangman and Seven of Wands. Okay. So we have trapped in fear. They, perhaps what they need from you is to first understand that whatever they're experiencing right now, whatever they're going through, isn't easy. And to acknowledge that, they know that they're acknowledging for themselves that they're keeping themselves in this fearful place, and they also want you to release as well. So as they're trying to release, they want you to release as well, because once you release, and this dreams card is and that's where that message came from. There's tears coming down, and they don't want you to be sad. They don't want you to hold yourself back from living your life, from doing whatever you need to do to be happy. They recognize that they've caused some pain, but they're recognizing that you both have to really release this. And I feel that people really are releasing this right now. With the Libra full moon, people are really releasing this. People are, and if you haven't done a ceremony, I don't think it's too late to do a declaration of full sovereignty and still hold the love and hold the hope in your heart, but drop the expectations, drop the low vibrational energy, drop the fear. Write stuff down on a paper and burn it. I still have mine. All the things I wanted to burn, I have to go bury it though. All the things I wanted to release, I have to go bury it in the park. I don't have a backyard. I live in New York City. So, oh my goodness. Now we have the Nine of Swords. Yeah. Recognize that they're going through dark night of the soul. And they're purging, they're releasing, and they really want you to do that as well. They really need you to do that. The more that you do that, the more that you do that, that encourages them to keep doing it. It's not helpful to their soul to go back to them, to message them, to, make sure that they're okay. They know what's going on. They know that you're releasing. Somewhere in their consciousness, they know. And as we saw, it doesn't really matter because this is a soul partnership. You're together already. And, it's about mastering your life here. I mean, we're here. Let's make the best of it. Let's make the best of this life. And then we have a death card. So we have change and transformation, death and transformation. So just releasing, letting things go, letting things die, and like really letting things die. So whatever you have to do with all of the sword energy and with the death energy, it's really not, it's not even the time to be putting energy towards your other person right now. This is really saying that this is about you. This is about choosing you, choosing to let go, choosing to move forward, choosing to let things die, let things end. So what do they need? And these are messages from Spirit. What do they need from you? Wow. Yep. On some level, they need that recognition and that they need to feel like, and this could be energetically, spiritually, like I said, they know in the 5D, so it's not necessary for you to reach out and say, I'm committed to you, baby, because, that could kind of throw them off, because they need to go through this dark night. Same with you. Why is commitment here? Wow. Okay, so we have commitment and we have action for what they need from you. Commitment and action, please, Spirit. Things are still frozen. Why is action here? Commitment and action. My sense really is that they really want you to get unstuck and start doing what it is that you need to be doing, because that pulls them with you. And they want you to know that whatever is happening in the material world right now is something that they haven't forgotten about. They're regretful that they can't take action because they know on a deep, deep level how committed they are to you. But you're both ascending right now. Interesting. I think it's like this. Yeah. Yeah, the ascending and understanding is they know that all of this is going to turn out for the best, and that it's about releasing and it's about moving forward, getting unstuck, and they know that they're doing this with you. They know that you're in this together, and they feel you. They feel you still, and they haven't forgotten about you. But this is not about waiting. This is not about waiting. This reading has been very clear about releasing, letting go, moving forward with your life. They're not going anywhere. They're just not. So let's look at the action for this week. What action is your person going to take in the 3D? So, in the material reality, what action are they going to take in regards to this connection? recognition and reward. We have another card of recognition here. They're really, really thinking about the times in which they really felt seen by you, okay? So perhaps it's the first time, or you're the first person that made them feel seen. I mean, you are their mirror soul. So of course, you know, you're going to kind of mirror back, you know, the things that they perhaps really need. So what about this recognition and reward, Spirit? Wow. Yeah. Could be dealing with Gemini. Doesn't have to be though. Oops, sorry. Yep. So they're really thinking about this connection, that it's divine, that it was sent from the heavens. They want to choose. You know, the Lovers is also about a choice. They want to choose to go in a direction. It doesn't really indicate here that they are choosing it or they're going to make that choice. They've already made the choice is the thing. When I look at these two cards in the action, when looking at action, it's really about the action that they're taking is that they're recognizing it. They're really, really recognizing the significance of this partnership. They're like, this is real. I thought it was perhaps just a dream, but how can they be so deep under my skin, right? How come I can't shake them? How come I can't stop thinking about the good times? And, you know, how come I can't stop thinking about what it was like to be seen by somebody and how, like, rewarding that was? And this is the Three of Pentacles, so this is like, in the traditional tarot, it's like the card of like teamwork and collaboration and working with somebody. And it's like recognizing, you know, kind of being on the same team and recognizing each other is the reward in itself, is the thing, is the goal, is what I'm getting. It's the goal in life, that we all want to just be with somebody that recognizes us and makes us feel like we are doing things right in this world, and they're like seeing you as their match for that. So what else regarding action? We did see commitment and action earlier. We have barrier here. So it seems like there's still going to be something that might be in their way. And we've seen this throughout the whole reading. We have solitude. They could be spending a lot of time by themselves because the situation that they're currently in makes them actually feel very alone. And so they don't feel necessarily recognized. But they're thinking about this. And this is, you know, thinking is still an action, right? They're doing a lot of inner work here. And just like we saw with the Seven of Cups, they're really, really thinking about what is getting in the way. What is like a barrier between themselves and they're going to ascend between what they want, how they want to be recognized, and what they're dealing with currently. And they're going to ascend. They're going to keep on ascending. What else, Spirit? What action are they going to take this week? But it's still going to be very scary for them when, especially if they're dreaming and, you know, they're alone, they're feeling very alone, and they're being faced with all these options as we saw. Although this whole process, like the ascension process is a very solo process, right? We can feel like it's very difficult to even talk about this to, you know, quote unquote, regular people in our life who aren't on the twin flame journey or aren't, going through a spiritual awakening, which is most people in our lives. Not everybody kind of is experiencing this unless, you kind of live in some sort of spiritual utopia, but that's not my existence necessarily. I do have a lot of enlightened people around me, I feel, but, these are internal things, and so they're contending with a lot of feelings of solitude, but it's what they need right now to really face their fears and face the barriers. What else, Spirit? What action? And we have Winter again, which is a card of feeling kind of unable to move, kind of stuck, kind of frozen. We have Crossroads. They know there's a choice that they have to make. And we saw the Death card, which could feel like things are ending, but you can sit there by yourself, feel the fear, go through the ascension, and be faced with the options, faced with the Seven of Cups energy, faced with this crossroads, and still kind of be stuck, still at this barrier, and still just kind of look at it, know what you will obtain or kind of feel when you get to the other side, which is perhaps this sense of recognition and reward and, celebration, with you. But, when you're at a crossroads, it's like, I could go this way or I could go this way. A lot of times you're like, what could I lose? What could I not get if I go this way? What could I miss out on? And definitely if I make a choice and I choose not to do something, what will happen if I choose not to do something? So that's really it's not, making a choice is not only going towards what we want, it's also making a choice of what we think we're going to miss out on. But that's a part of the whole process. Is the thing that we're giving up, is it actually giving it up? If you choose to leave a marriage, and I've never left a marriage, so I don't, want to ever make it sound like that's an easy thing. But if you're faced with that, you think on one hand, in one direction, you could be happy, and you'll have freedom again, and you'll have, you'll possibly be with somebody that you really love and feel that recognition and feel that love again. But what are you losing? And are you really losing that thing? So it's like all of these choices, all of these options, all of these things that they're looking at right now. So why is Crossroads here? Free will. They're really looking at, they're breaking free more than ever. The Ascending card came out twice. The choices, the barrier, there's so many. The recognition came out twice. The Lovers is here. They're being hit and faced with all their choices right now. Why is this Free Will card here, Spirit? We have Muse and we have Karmic Partner that came out. So the two choices that they could be faced with at this time, well, having the free will is making them feel, very inspired right now. They're inspired to take action, okay? They're inspired, and what I'm getting is that they're inspired to make some sort of decision, but they're thinking about their karmic partner still. They're thinking about, what does this mean for the relationship with my karmic partner? Even though I know I have the freedom now, I know that, I can choose anything that I want because I am feeling more free than I ever have before. What does this mean for my karmic partner? Why is karmic partner here? They're thinking about their karmic partner and they're thinking about their family. Exactly. So they're thinking one or the other. They're thinking, and actually, let me just clarify. Muse. Why is Muse here? I don't know. Why is Muse here, Spirit? Two cards came out and I just want one. Why is Muse here? Spirit's like, that's the card. Yep, there's something here that, so the crossroads, the choice, if they were free to make a choice, the choice would be, that going one way, going the way that they are just pulled to go towards isn't necessarily the easy way out. That they'd have to kind of rewrite their lives, and they would have to really feel free and unbound, but they might lose out on their karmic partner and their family. Why is patience here? Patience. Wow. We have soulmate and stuck. Okay. There's something about feeling like making the choice to go towards their soulmate. Perhaps that's their divine feminine. There's something about that doesn't seem very easy, and that is, could be very inspiring. But there's something that really holds them back, and it's really the situation with their karmic partner and their family. Karmic partner and family here. We have the answer is yes. So it looks like for action right now that the answer is yes, is that for this week, there's still a sense of stuckness. There's still a sense of being fearful of losing something if they make a choice in one direction. The other direction is picking, who they do have this really strong soul bond with. That's very inspiring, but there's something about it that they know that they're just not ready for yet, and that's why we have that patience energy here. So this last line here will be for advice from Spirit to the listener. So what's some advice? What should the listener do? Golden path. Just walk the path. Just do what you're guided to do. And not only in terms of this connection, but in terms of every other part of your life. Just, if you are inspired to go outside and take a walk, or go and hang out with your friends, or if you're inspired to, maybe look at job postings and, just open your options up and just, kind of see what is out there for you to dive into. Just walk, just live your life is really what I'm getting here. Then we have why. Interesting. The energy that I'm getting here is like, be curious. Like, really start to get into like what interests you, what makes you feel inspired. We have like this book and this image with like a bird or an angel. Like, it's a card of like, and we have like this image of a face in the sky here, and there's question marks, and 31 is the number here. That might be significant to you, but this person is like bending down to pick up this book to ask why. This is like a very it's a card of like an energy of exploration and an energy of discovery, and it's like if you're really wondering about something and curious about something, like just dive in, just start reading about it. Like Google is the greatest place to start. Like just look into whatever it is that is piquing your interest, and this could be really, spiritual, because there's wings coming out of this book. Like really study on how to do this, like twin flame, journey, situation, whatever you want to call it. Like how do you do this? Like become an expert at this. There's so much information out here and so many resources and things that could help you get through this and really thrive, and really get out of this journey that you were supposed to get out of it. Like it's a gift. It's a gift from the heavens. It feels like shit. It feels hard. It feels dark, but it is a gift. And the gifts are in the hard things. That is amazing. Let's see. What do I want to pull here? Oh yeah. Okay. So what should you do? Advice from Spirit. Yep, exactly. So don't back down. Like you're going to walk the path and you're going to come up against some obstacles and challenges. You're going to come up against things that are difficult to look at and deal with. But put the work in, because it's worth it. Like the work that you put in, you will get back what you put in. So if you come up against, if you like really start to dive in, right, and just walking along the path, just are confronted with the obstacles and challenges, like the Wizard of Oz, right? Like Dorothy, she just walks the path. She's trying to get to Oz, but she comes up against all these challenges. But then she faces them. She doesn't run away from them. Well, she can't run away from them. And then she befriends them. And they become like a stronger team together, like the Tin Man and the Lion and the Scarecrow, and they all get to Oz together. And so that's what I feel like this card is saying. It's like, come up against those challenges and you will reap the rewards. The outcome will be in your favor. And find what is knocking you off of your equilibrium. Why is this Justice card here? Find out I'm getting actually balance here. Like we have this figure trying to balance on this beam, right? And get to the other side somehow without falling to his death. So it's like, in order to safely get over to the other side, it's about like gaining knowledge and gaining tools. And you will get to the other side. We have High Priestess. This is beautiful. So, two major arcana here. It's really about trusting yourself. It's about looking at the big picture. It's about tapping in and unleashing like your magic inside. And I know I'm saying this a lot, but the magic is in the obstacles and the challenges. Like that's the treasure, right? Like we see all these movies about like treasure hunts. They have to work in order to find the treasure. The treasure isn't just chilling on a rock somewhere. Like, they have to go through the storm. And it acquires a lot of focus and learning and learning about yourself and tapping into your High Priestess energy here. But every time the High Priestess shows up in a reading, it's a sign that you have all of the tools. We all have the capacity and the disposition to become the High Priestess, but it's up to you. It's up to you if you want to back down from the challenge. This guy could just, fives are for conflict. This is like the Five of Wands. This guy could turn back around, choose to not walk the path. Choose to just turn right back around and go from where he came, but there's a reason why he has to get to that other side. So go in is the message that I'm getting. Go in. If you need, help on how to do that, just an email away. I love it. Observer. Who are you? There is a question mark over this guy's face. We have question marks here. Ask the questions. We have why here, and we have observer. See what comes up for you. And that's walking the golden path as well. It's like, who are you? Find out. Figure it out. Focus on yourself. We just got through some tough energies here. Unstick yourself. We just got some we got through some tough energies with the Libra full moon where we were, a lot of us were releasing. And so a lot of the obstacles and challenges that you could have just been faced with are not really yours. Maybe it was just, residual energy, but there's something in that. Like, there's still something that you could be learning about. So why is the stuck card here? Figure out why you're getting stuck. Figure out how to free yourself. Why is the stuck energy here? Oh, okay. Super clear message. Yeah. Clear as day. This process of walking the golden path and asking why and being the observer of yourself, not the judger, the observer, right? And coming up for these obstacles and challenges is like, notice when you're stuck, notice when things get hard, and then go inside. And shadow work is asking a lot of uncomfortable questions. I feel like I want to just do a video on shadow work and what Spirit has to say about that. How do they deal with shadow work? How does the listener deal with shadow work? How should they? Wow. We have summer. What do we mean by summer? I feel like it's like shine light on what is dark. Yeah, definitely. Why is summer here? Oh my goodness. Wow. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so we have guide and we have union. Something really significant in your union could happen, but you have to do this work first. Follow the guidance. Shine light on the shadows. Engage with the shadows and really, like, it's your guidance. If you are coming up with this hard shit, it's because it's Spirit saying, like, can you figure this out? Can you unstick yourself? Can you take a look at this? Look at this. You have to look at this. This is holding you back. This is what's keeping you stuck. And then we have union. I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna pull just one or two more cards, one from angels and ancestors, and then one romance angel to end the reading. So final messages for the listener, advice from Spirit, what should they do? Oh yes, exactly. This is exactly what has come out the entire reading. Grow within your current situation, have the wisdom, ask the questions, figure it out, shine light on what's dark, do the work. You have all of that there for you. I know it hurts. You know you're doing shadow work if you're feeling very uncomfortable, but this is where that inner child work comes in, and please email me. I would love to share, an exchange, of course, but I would love to share with you what all of this means and perhaps what recommend some shadow work that you could do. I've done a lot of shadow work, and I'm continuing to do shadow work. Like, the shadow work is, it can feel like never ending, but you feel just, there's this gratification, and it feels so right. Like, it's like after you've purged and after you've done something. So let something go, release something. So grow within your current situation. Don't run from it. Just grow from it. Don't run, grow. Okay. Most important messages for the listener, Spirit. Codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. I know we don't like to see that, but there's some serious work that you all are having to do right now. And I feel like, if you don't want to listen anymore, then click off. But codependency, either your partner, either the Divine Masculine is in some situation that he's bound to, which we saw, but so are you. So there's a reason why all of this shit is coming up for you. The shadow work is the stuff that is most likely your addictions, most likely the stuff that it is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. There's so much more to be said about all of this, but the most important thing is that you will find the balance that you're looking for. You will find the balance in another connection, whether that be another love connection or even just like the relationships you want to cultivate around you. You'll find that balance if you balance the sun and the light and the dark. So that's why I'm sun moon, right? There has to be both. If there's just sun all the time and we don't look at the shadows, right? We're always in the light. There are things that we're missing. There are things that we are ignoring, especially if we're in a codependent relationship or if we're kind of repeating the same cycles and we end up, experiencing this pain because we're not getting what we want, we're not being fulfilled in the way that we want. There's some shadows. There's some shadow work that needs to be done, and it's that pain. But if there's too much darkness and there's not enough light, on the other hand, if you're focused too much on the shadows, then you'll stay there. You won't. That's also a dangerous place. You need the light to pull you out. So there's this balance here of light and dark, this sun and moon, okay? So much more to be said, like I said, but it was pretty clear in this message that you both are mirroring and doing the same work. And in a little bit different of a way, but I am so happy that if you got to the end of this reading, great job. Lots and love and light to you. Please like, subscribe, and share if you haven't already. and I hope you have a great rest of your day, evening, morning, whatever. Bye.